board exam? Hindi po man yung score. Correct pa. I just assume. Eh kasi yung long face, parang 35 yung... Alam niyo yung Bloom's stocks? Hindi niyo alam. Bloom's taxonomy of learning. Maraming simple recall doon eh. So it's a lower form of knowledge. So maraming simple recall, di ba? What is the normal axis? Simple recall yun. So kung hindi ka nakasagot ng ganyan, bobo. Kasi all your other classmates will be able to answer it. If it is the board exam, almost lahat ng nag-exam will be able to answer it. Pag hindi ka naka-answer niyan, malaking ano siya, pang pull down sa'yo. Kasi doon nga sa mahirap na question, hindi ka nakaka-answer, hindi lahat nakaka-answer. Di ba? So, pag simple recall, dapat maa-answer. Now, mga 10% lang ata yung medyo... ECG reading is considered a hard, hindi siya easy, medyo higher learning siya. And lalo na pag i-extract sa inyo yung you will be able to extract, they might extract ko yung understanding, mas mataas na learning yun. Okay? So, yung mga lectures natin ngayon, it may be easy sa inyo, but for some students, it's a higher form of learning. Because this time, we will use the basic knowledge we have learned from the previous chapter sa lecture niyo. Ito naman yung medyo gamit sa clinical. Kasi this is now related to hypertension, hypotension, so mas clinical na siya. Okay? So, dalawang chapter tayo today. We will be talking about blood pressure. The first chapter is about acute, yung pangmabilisan, within hours, bumagsak yung blood pressure. What are the mechanisms to increase that blood pressure? Binulong ka ba? Tapos, ano ba ang mga mechanism para ma-increase itong blood pressure? In an instant, parang within few seconds to minutes to hours to days, yan yung acute. Pag chronic naman yung mga a month to a year, paano ba napokontrol ng katawan natin yung blood pressure pag mataas siya? Or pag mababa siya, paano niya ipapataas? Okay? Good. Excited naman kayo? Ito yung mga lectures na nagagamit ko siya sa clinical. Kaya masarap magturo because nare-review ko rin siya. So pag-rounds ko ng maraming patient ganyan, maraming high blood, Diyos ko Lord, halos lahat ng pasyente high blood. Ito yun, magagamit natin siya. So, basic muna, mga simple recall to, yung nasa slides, these are simple recall. Ay, pag sinabi natin simple recall, dapat memorize mo siya. What is the formula of blood pressure? Cardiac output times total peripheral resistance. So if the patient has hypotension or hypertension, these are the things that you need to play. For example, mababa ang blood pressure, kailangan i-increase mo yung total peripheral resistance. If the cardiac output remains to be the same, tataas ang blood pressure. Tama? So if we vasoconstrict the arterioles bang sagot nyo? Okay, so if we vasoconstrict the arterioles, mostly, yun yung source ng increase in total peripheral resistance. So, tataas ang blood pressure. Now, if the total peripheral resistance increases but the cardiac output decreases, what will happen to the blood pressure? Either maglalabanan sila, no? Kung sinong mas malakas ang ambang. Either equal or tataas, or kung sinong mas powerful, sinong mas nag-effort. Now, equal naman yung importance nila. So cardiac output, pag tumaas yun, if the total peripheral resistance remains the same, tataas ang blood pressure. Naintindihan nyo yun? No? So cardiac output is also composed of two factors. Stroke volume times the heart rate. Okay ba yun? So you need the heart rate and the stroke volume in order to compute for the cardiac output. So for example, tumakbo ka, tataas ang heart rate. Therefore, the cardiac output will increase. Okay ba tayo doon? So, kahit yung total peripheral resistance mo remain to be the same, the blood pressure will increase. Okay? Naintindihan niyo yun? Payalan ninyo. Dahil pa naman exam. So, stroke volume is also composed of, paano ba nakukuha yung stroke volume, mga kapatid? So, the end diastolic volume minus the end systolic volume. So, And diastole, kung pirang ka ml ang hingad to LV, 120 ml, after contraction, ang ginawas, awan nabilin nala, 50, pero man ang stroke volume. Ha? Pag-compute mo araw, 120, tas 50 na lang nabilin. Pero? 70. So the stroke volume is 70. So kung nalingkod ka, your heart rate is, let's say, 70 beats per minute, the cardiac output will be 70 times 70, pero man ito? Pera? Pera set? 4,000 liters. Okay, so ganun siya, na-compute yung cardiac output. Ang total peripheral resistance, bahala si Batman, di ko na alam paano yun. Kasi it's a combination ng lahat. Tama? Maghirap namang pag-isa-isahin natin. Diyos ko, Lord. Alam ang trabaho ni Kuya, pang kabuhayan siya. Kailangan niyang magpukpok. So, those are the factors that affect the blood pressure. Minsan, no, pag student na nagtatanga-tangahan ng bagsak ang blood pressure. So, paano natin itataas ang BP? Paano ba? Hindi magbigay ka ng vasoconstrictors, for example. Norepinephrine, dopamine, it will vasoconstrict arterioles and also veins. So, i-increase yung preload. If you vasoconstrict the veins, yung dugo doon mapupunta sa right atrium. If you vasoconstrict the arterioles, tataas ang total peripheral resistance. So, kung tumaas ang total peripheral resistance, makaka-affect na yun sa BP. Kung tumaas ang preload, how will it affect the blood pressure? Increase in preload, increase in diastolic volume, it will also increase the stroke volume, which will affect the cardiac output. So, both cardiac output and blood pressure nag-increase. Pwede din, favorite ng mga nurses, fast drip, no? If you increase the volume of blood, what will happen to the stroke volume? It will increase. Okay ba tayo doon? So, the cardiac output will increase. Paano pa? Bigay ka ng medicine na mag-increase ng contractility. Pwede ba yon? Inotropic drug. So, mag-increase contractility. What will happen to the stroke volume if the contractility, contraction will increase? Magpuka yung bonggat mo left ventricle, di ma-increase its stroke volume, the cardiac output will increase. You can also give medications that will increase the heart rate. Pwede ba yon? Wala, bongga, i-target mo na nga tanan. Ora-ora, diri pa ito ng mataas. Heart rate nag-increase, stroke volume nag-increase, cardiac output nag-increase, total peripheral resistance nag-increase, then we can increase the blood pressure. Okay ba yun? Uy, paya lang ha. Sige nga, mag-isip kayo, dyan pa lang no. Impuno, nagdurugo. So, blood pressure will decline because blood volume, therefore, decrease in what? Stroke volume. Pwede. My point. Decrease in blood volume, decrease cardiac output, except pag binubulong ka, anong effect ang meron? Sympathetic, parasympathetic? Simpa. So what is the effect ng sympathetic? What will happen to the heart rate? Increase, no? So kahit bumaba yung stroke volume mo, pero nag-increase ang cardiac stroke volume, the cardiac output might be maintained. Okay? So what is the effect of sympathetic activity to the total peripheral resistance? Increase, decrease. Minsan nabububuyok itong pag-iisip. Increase, decrease. So kung mag-increase, the total peripheral resistance, ma-increase it, blood pressure. So these are mechanisms to maintain your blood pressure kung yung puno in ice pick. Okay ba yun, te? Gusto ko talaga ito ice pick. Kasi yung teacher namin, binuno talaga yung aspi. Anyway, so malangit na ang kanyang kaluluwa. Okay, okay na tayo dito. So, these are the mechanisms that will acutely increase or decrease the blood pressure. Ito yung bulk ng discussion natin. Baroreceptor reflex, chemo, sana no chemo, pero kay Manila, chemo, di rin pa-pronounce, chemoreceptor reflex, CNS ischemic response, and abdominal muscle reflex. Meron pang etc. Pero isa lang naman. No? Okay, okay tayo doon? So, just as brief discussion, in those reflex, di ba palagi yung merong, di ba pag reflex, di ba meron yan palaging component? Meron kang dapat vasomotor center, cardiac center, the sympathetic and parasympathetic out. Meron sensory and motor. So, ganun pag reflex siya. So, since we are talking about blood pressure, it will always have this vasomotor center in the brain, cardiac center, which is in the heart, and the effect of the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic. Don't worry, magdi-discuss pa tayo ng sympathetic and parasympathetic pag dumating tayo sa neuro chapter. Pokpok ng pokpok. So, simple recall. Wala pong may tutulong sa inyo yan kasi simple recall lang siya So pag vasoconstrictor, it will be the upper medulla, anterolateral. Pag vasodilator, it will be the lower, pareha sila anterolateral. Kailangan ko ba yung i-explain? Di ba? Parang kailangan nyo siyang i-memorize. Mga bata kayo. So, kailangan nyo siyang i-memorize. Kasi during exams, pinagpapalit-palit lang yan. Upper, di ba? Lower, posterolateral, posteromedial, ganyan ba? So, kailangan, pag-memorize ka, kung mga matatalino, ay pag-memorize ito, vasoconstrictor, anterolateral, upper, period. Wala na daw ng arte. Kasi nagtitipid ka in neurons. Pero at mga average, nasing ito, a vasoconstrictor area located bilaterally in the anterolateral portion of the upper medulla. Noon. Gamo. Para sure good ko, nung takay pagkat to, kailangan mong memory, nagkabaro ka yun. So, vasoconstrictor, lateral, upper medulla. Pag vasodilator, anterolateral din, pero lower. Okay. So, hayaan na natin yung mga nucleus tractus solitarius kasi doon pa yan sa neuro. Then we will have the output. It will be either sympathetic or sympathetic, but the net organ will be, the end organ will be either the heart or the vessel. So if it's the heart, it can either increase the contractility, increase the stroke volume, increase the heart rate. If it will be in the vessel, it can either be vasodilation or vasoconstriction. Okay. So anong effect ng sympathetic? Memorize nyo yan kasi lalabas talaga siya sa exam. What will happen to the heart rate? What will happen to the force of contraction? Anong tawag ng force of contraction? Anong other term? Chronotropy or inotropy? Inotropy. Ang increase in heart rate, chronotropy or inotropy? Yun ang mahirap sa medicine. Hindi rin nila sabihin nga increase in heart rate. Chronotropy pa, pagkakatut exam, nagkakagulo-gulo tuloy. So kahit alam mo naman na increase in heart rate, na-stroke ka naman chronotropic versus inotropic. So chronotropic is change in heart rate. So increase in chronotropy, decrease in chronotropy. Or inotropic drugs or inotropic drug, ayun yung nag-increase ng contractility. Okay ba tayo doon? Tapos, what's the effect of the peripheral resistance? So it will be increase or vasoconstriction. Except, meron palagi yung except, hindi yan total. Kasi yung effect ng sympathetic activity sa muscles natin is vasodilatation of the, di ba nagdinalagang ka? Nag-vasoconstrict ka ng mga tela? Di ba, kung ka daw hito, namulol daw hiya. Kasi your muscles needs an increase in blood supply pag nadalagan ka. Okay ba yun, sir? So, dapat, vasodilation, kamabaltok na lang, hindi niya na-appreciate. Dapat kasi, vasoconstrictor na tanan, pero naiibat muscle since during activity, the muscles needs to contract. Nagpa-vasodilate. So tandaan niyo yun, exception yung arteries to the skeletal muscles. It will not be vasoconstriction, but vasodilatation. Oh. Tapos pagkatot exam, pagpabarbal yun na, no? Parasympathetic, ano mat effect ng muscles? Ha? Vasoconstriction. Okay, Lord, marorong ka. Marorong ka. Kaya nga maging answer, vasoconstriction, vasodilation. Ano ba, Lord, guide me, B or C? So, memorize na lang. Kailangan nyo siyang i-memorize. Ano siya? Simple recall din siya, hindi siya higher form of learning. Okay tayo? Paki-memorize, effect ng sympathetic activity. What's the effect to the heart rate? Heart rate. What about contraction of the left muscles of the heart? Increase. And then it will also increase the total peripheral resistance. Total. But if we are talking about arterioles, doon sa muscles ng skeletal muscles, it would be vasodilation. But the other arterioles will vasoconstrict, so the total effect will be still an increase in the total peripheral resistance. Any questions so far? Oh, di rin pa upulit by monthly, no? Di rin pa iniupod. So, upod na niya long exam, malapit pa tagal-tagal pa sa mga kalimutan na niyo, no? Kasi ano yung mga memorize niya na siyempre mag-memorize ka mo tonight, tapos next night, tapos oray na, pag-abot na the long quiz, oray na. Anyway. So, merong merong tinatawag na, di ba, naglalaban lang si sympathetic and parasympathetic. Yung natural, yung baseline is sympathetic. Parang, there is a sympathetic discharge. And then it can either be an increase of sympathetic activity or inhibition of sympathetic with an increase of parasympathetic activity. Pero baseline, nalingkod ka, nakarest ka, meron yung sympathetic tone to the vessels. And it has been proven sa laboratory kasi kung in-injectan kami anesthesia, biglang na-drop it tone, it muscle. Itong vessel, biglang yung nag-vasodilate. Bisan waray ka nag-inject in something that will increase the parasympathetic activity, you have just inhibited the sympathetic activity. Nag-vasodilate yung vessel. Ibig sabihin, meron talaga siyang basal tone. Nagigets niyo yun? Sinong driver dito? Parang naka-press ka lang ba? Tama ba yun? Hindi mag-gets hindi driver. Parang naka-press ka lang pero di rin naandar. Pero naka-press ka. So, kung i-release mo din maandar niya. Parang gano'n. Pero naka-press ka. Gano'n din yung sympathetic activity. Meron siyang sympathetic discharge na basal. Hindi siya talaga lang walang sympathetic, walang parasympathetic. Kaya, gano'n yung basal tone ng vessels. Hindi. There is an basic or ano bang term yan? Ang term yan? Wala. There's that partial state of contraction because of sympathetic tone. So if you give something that will inhibit the sympathetic activity, magvasodilate siya. So it will cause decrease in total peripheral resistance, kaya nagda-drop yung blood pressure. Ayan siya, nagbagsak yung blood pressure. And then if you inject naman a medicine that will vasoconstrict the vessels, tataas naman ulit yung blood pressure. So yan yung proof na meron tayong basic sympathetic tone. Okay ba tayo doon? So norepinephrine is for the sympathetic vasoconstrictor neurotransmitter. And then, pag sympathetic nerve will stimulate the adrenal gland. Alam niyo bang sa adrenal gland ang produce ang norepinephrine? Saan portion yun? Saan zona? Kalimutan ko na zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, ano ba natin palas? Ha? Basta dito, pamati ko ato dito, midula. Cortex siya, pero pinakalas, pinakasulod, zona, pala ni Batman, mga buwas. Basta dito siya yung produce yung epinephrine, tas nako-convert, norepinephrine, tas nako-convert to epinephrine peripheral. Okay, so epinephrine causes vasodilation in some tissues. Saan yun? Kasi di ba, nor-epi-epi, vasoconstrictor effect. But there will be some vessels wherein the effect will be vasodilation. Saan kaya yun? Saan? Sinabi niyo kanina skeletal muscles, no? Yan yung vasovagal. No? Yung pakalasan mo, tapos na-dismayo. Daman Artie, nag-vasovagal. Na-dismayo, na-fainting, vasovagal to syncope. That is true, ha? Vasovagal syncope. Nangyayari yan sa mga matatanda. Pag matatanda, di rin na masyadong nagbabasodilate yung arteries ng paa. Bakit? Sino pinakamatanda? Ikaw? Kami yung classmate namin, pinakamatanda was 29 years old. Ikaw? 28. 29. Pero ano siya, parang pare-parehas na ng mga buot. After a while, nagsisettle din. Pare-parehas na rin yung maturity. Parang kahit ate, kuya, daradaran niyo yung mga anak. Mga junakis, daradara, tas ate, kuya. Okay. May mga anak na sa inyo? Sino? Ano, yes po. May anak ka na? May anak na. Wala na. Go, laban lang, no? Okay. Wala pa, hindi pa yan importante. Hindi pa yan itatanong kasi hindi pa naman tayo nasa sympathetic. Just know that sympathetic, meron niyang norepinephrine, parasympathetic, mostly acetylcholine. Pag-aaralan din natin yan sa autonomic nervous system. Meron din namang acetylcholine yung sympathetic, kaso lang dun sa, wag na, sabi ko na nga, wag na, sunod na. Ha? Okay. Okay, so let's start with baroreceptor reflex. So meron yang receptor which is in the carotid and aortic sinus. Alam niyo kung saan? Carotid body, di nasa carotid artery. Anay daw, review na ko no dok. Anay daw, arch of aorta. What is the first branch? Hindi ka right? Brachio. So siya, brachio. Ako nga ni brachiolat. Brachiocephalic. So brachiocephalic, which will divide into? Ano yun? Bakit ma-mistake ako? Di ba meron? Subclavian and then the right common carotid. Tama? And then yung next branch will be the left common carotid and then the last branch will be the left subclavian. So meron ka ng dalawang carotid. Doon yun, carotid body. And then meron ding aortic sinus, meaning doon sa may arch of aorta. Andun, meron doon mga receptors for baroreceptor reflex. Okay, so malapit siya doon. Okay daw, they are in a strategic position kasi dito click doon. Pagkagawas mga dugo, kitang-kita nila dahil CCTV camera sila. If there is a decrease in stroke volume, alam mo na yun, ma-stimulate sila. If there is an increase in pressure, alam mo na yun, ma-stimulate sila. Okay. So, merong afferent, meaning sensory to. Ano ba pa-pronounce? Efferent. Tama ba naman ang ibig? Afferent, tama? Diba? Okay, so magsuruso siya no afferent. Parang daw rin efferent, no? Apple. Afferent na lang. So meron yan, it will run through the cranial nerve 9 and 10. Oh my God, to touch. Memorya naman. Kakagulo-gulo. 9 and 10, which is the vagus, social, vagus, not vagus, and glossopharyngeal nerves. And then it will go to the vasomotor center na pinag-usapan na natin kanina. And then efferent, either way, either sympathetic or parasympathetic. And then the effector organs are the heart. It can either be sympathetic, there will be increase in heart rate and increase in the force of contraction. Arterioles, it will cause vasoconstriction, but vasodilatation in the skeletal muscles. And veins, vasoconstriction yun. So, increase in venous return, increase in diastolic volume. Okay ba tayo doon? Opposite, parasympathetic. Bahala na kayo. Okay. So, andun siya. Ayun siya. Ano ini? Okay na. Ayun, for chemo to for chemo. Pero yun yung mga baroreceptor, yun naman mga sugat. So, mainly, nervous in composition, sensors are baroreceptor, parang tanga lang. A stretch of baroreceptor stimulate them to produce action potential. The action potential will travel via cranial nerve 10 and 9 to reach the vasomotor center. Then there will be an effective effect, which is short-term, in increasing the blood pressure. So, but that is resettable. Kasi for example, nag-increase na yung BP, no? 120 na. 120 na niya. Kung hinataas naman yung BP, sige, 150 yan. 150 na niya. Resettable na. Ang utot mga high blood. Piti ko si Tera BP, 180. Parang okay man lang yan. Ang symptoms. Kasi na-reset na niya na niya. Meaning, itira pinaka-baseline is now 180. Increase or decrease, pero other than baseline is 180. Alright. So, resettable siya. Ano yan to? Nag-experiment kasi sila. Gagaling nila, no? Mga electrophysiologists. They try to increase the pressure in the carotid sinus. Now, what is the effect in increasing the pressure in the carotid sinus? Look at the graph. Dapat magaling kayo sa graph kasi most of the exam is in the graph. So, arterial blood pressure in millimeters mercury, number in impulses. So, if the pressure increases, there is an increase in impulses in the carotid sinus. Parang pag in-increase mo ang blood pressure, ting 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 ting, nagkakububuhin ko dito, ting 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 ting, stimulate na to the vasomotor center. Ganun na. So, increase in pressure, increase in activity, impulses, discharge into the, from the glossopharyngeal, cranial nerve 9 and 10 to the vasomotor. What will be the effect? Inhibit or excite? Increase naman blood pressure, i-excite pa niya. No? Kasi kung i-excite niya mo, hindi magsisympathetic activity, ma-increase naman heart rate, ma-increase naman stroke volume, ma-increase naman ang total peripheral resistance. Mati ka increase in BP, parang tama lang. Di ba pagbuhay yung atin? Okay ba yon? So it will be inhibitory para inhibit sympathetic, stimulate parasympathetic, di pababa tayo. Opposite naman kung mag-decrease ang pressure, no? Decrease in pressure, decrease mga kapatid in pressure, decrease in ganun lang siya, hindi siya makusog. So, pagka to have brain, excitatory tayo. Okay ba tayo yun? So, yun, okay paglaban mo si sympathetic girl. Kasi bagsak ang blood pressure, sympathetic para itaas ang BP. Okay ba tayo doon? Mahirap lang sa exam, mataas ang blood pressure, din pa-increase pa rin ang sympathetic activity. Pagpatay ang iyong pasyente. Gusto mo ba yun, Seth? Ayaw. So, kailangan isip-isip din. Kasi this will be a higher form of learning. Hindi na siya parang memorize. Makakapagsugad-sugad ka mo dito dito. Okay, Lord, increase, decrease. So ano ba? Nag-increase, dahil pa naman ito question na trader, they're mastering na increase in pressure. Mastering na pag-ito question. There is an increase in discharge of the keme. Glossopharyngeal and vagus 9 and 10. Increase discharge. What will be the effect? Nag-increase ang discharge action potential dito ang mga ano nimo, mga glossopharyngeal ng vagus na ting 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 pag tumato ang vasomotor, ting 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 increase. Sympathetic para sympathetic. No? Makuri pa naman ito, kay waray ka na mati. So, ulitin natin mga kapatid yung graph. An increase in pressure, what is the effect in the impulses from the carotid sinus nerves per second? Increase or decrease? Increase. But in the vasomotor center, the net effect will be stimulatory, inhibitory. Which is sympathetic, parasympathetic. Kapatid. Yung baliktad pagod him, inhibitory to the parasympathetic nga tridor, kabubulok. Correct na yan, inhibitory, pero kin-inhibit niya parasympathetic. Hello Lord, may stroke ako. Ulitin na natin. Increase in pressure, what is the effect to the impulses? Increase. So, sa vasomotor, inhibit the inhibit the sympathetic or parasympathetic? Sympathetic. Wala kayo inhibit niya ang parasympathetic. Naguluhan na ako, Dok. Nag-stuck up na ng utak. Paano ito pag-exam? Letter C na lang, kapon? Okay. Physiology kasi alam nyo, kailangan talagang mag-analyze ng konti. May simple recall pero kailangan talaga brain. Pag maging doktor, hindi ka talaga pwedeng wala man lang baon na katalinuhan. Pwede tatanga-tanga paminsan-minsan pero may baon kang katalinuhan kahit pa paano. Kailangan lang natin siyang hasain, no? Hasain lang natin ng konti. Kakay kayo nagpika ako ang lubog. Ulog. Okay, okay ba tayo doon? Bahala kayo. Dali, basa mga kapatid. The current frequency. Wait lang, ano ibig sabihin nun? Hello? Directly proportional to the mean arterial pressure. The current frequency of the carotid sinus is directly proportional to the pulse. And then, the steep curve means that within the operating range of the BP, ayan, kailangan nyo yun i-memorize, 60 to 120 lang siya. Ang baroreceptor's reflex is functional at between 60 to 120 only. Beyond that, hindi na siya masyadong effective. Kasi nagkaano siya, plateau. Plateau na siya. Unlike dito, sobrang either increase, decrease siya ng blood pressure. Hi, simple recall. Okay. Ito siya is another study. If you clump the carotid sinus, it will result in a decrease in signals of the baroreceptor, so it will cause less inhibitory effect to the vasomotor center. The net effect will be vasoconstriction. Tama? So, sympathetic. Alright. Oh my God! Yung clump ni Raday, man, anim do mga carotid. Di rin ni tao ha, di rin mga barbaric, ayam ininira yung buwan, ayam. So, clump ni carotid, what happened to the arterial pressure? Nag-increase. And then when they released it, nag-decrease ang blood pressure. So, that's a proof that the carotid sinus, there are receptors there that either if you clump it, then it will cause, kasi pag mag-clump mo, wala ng blood supply, di ba? So, wala na siyang increase in pressure, so it will cause less inhibitor. Yes. Iba siya, pare. When you do carotid massage, you are stimulating the vagus nerve. So what's the effect of vagus nerve? Para. So di ba tachycardic? Tachycardic, bilis no? Pare no? Bilis. Ganun ang heart rate. Parang nakakita ba ng crash no? So, yung carotid massage mo, nag-SVT siya, supraventricular tachycardia. Yung carotid massage mo, vagus nerve. So, the effect of vagus nerve in the AV node is to block there. Or, a little bit effect on the SE node, decreasing the firing of SE node, but more on blocking the AV node para ma-decrease ang heart rate. Okay tayo dun? So, iba naman yun. This is clumping. Wala nang blood supply dun eh. So, hindi na siya ma-dilate yung vessel. So, more on kailangan this time, wala kang blood supply, so kailangan siyang i-increase yung pressures para ma-increase mo yung blood supply. Yun yung physiology. Okay. So, if there is an increase in pressure in the carotid sinus, it will stretch the vessel. Tama? So, there will be increased firing of sensory fibers of the vagus nerve. There will be activation of the A2 receptors in the vasomotor center, stimulation of inhibitory neuron, inhibition of preganglionic fibers of the sympathetic nerve, decrease in the norepinephrine, decrease stimulation of the KMA, decrease heart rate. Bahala kayo sa buhay niyo. Basta na ng mga kapatid. Nadiri pa na nakit mga sugad nga. Diba, basta gusto ko talaga ito. Bahala. Ano? So pag increase at BP, bahala ni Batman, basta i-decrease that BP in the end. Pag mataas naman mababa yung blood pressure, itaas natin mga kapatid. Problema lang, wari ka na paka-explain. Wari ka na paka-followhan pagkakasunod-sunod. Kaya ba natin yan ma-memorize? Alam niyo kasi estudyante kayo, kailangan niyo siyang i-memorize one by one, each by each. Ako kasi, I'm just after the net effect. Pag sa clinical, no? Ang taas ang blood pressure, kailangan kong ibaba ang blood pressure. So, physiologically, there will be some effect to decrease the blood pressure. Pag mababa naman ang blood pressure, it will be reversed. So, the net effect will be an increase in blood pressure. But, yan po, yung mga nangyayari yan. Diyos ko, day. Uulitin ba natin? So, pag mataas ang blood pressure, anong mangyayari doon sa vagus nerve? Increase in firing or decrease in firing?
Increase in firing.
Pero doon sa vasomotor center, inhibitory, excitatory?
Inhibitory.
Anong ini-inhibit niya? Para-simpa.
Simpa.
So, anong effect? Para-simpa. Para. So, pag para, anong effect ng para sa heart?
Decrease
Heart rate. Contractility.
Decrease.
What is the effect to the arterioles?
Vasodilation.
Nagugulang rin pa naman ako. Vasodilation. So, the total peripheral resistance will?
Decrease.
So, the blood pressure decreased because the cardiac output and the total peripheral resistance decreased. Paano natin napadecrease yung cardiac output?
Decreased heart rate.
Decrease in heart rate and
Contractility.
decrease in stroke volume because of the decrease in contractility. Pwede yun. Oo nga. Pwede din because you have vasodilated the veins, decrease in preload, decrease in stroke volume kasi bumaba yung end diastolic venous return. Ano, kailangan talaga hindi may baon kang katalinuhan, guy. Kasi kung nagtinanga-tanga ka, dahil bahala ka dito sa exam. This will come up in the exam, by the way. And it will probably be reversed. Kasi ang example dyan is, siya di ba? Alam naman parang tama, ganyan din, no?
So, decrease in...
Naintindihan niyo yun?
Yes, Doc.
Ayaw kong pagkupang ko, ayaw nga opo, tapos niyan, ayan. Tanga-tangahan, no? Pagkatupa ng exam, oh Lord. Okay. Hi. Alam kong saan nagugulong student? Doon sa firing eh. Doon sa firing, baka mapagpalit niya. Bakit naman kasi hindi na lang increase in BP? Tama naman siya, increase in BP, increase in firing. So, pero ang problema, doon sa vasomotor, dapat increase na lang din, no? Increase in, pwede naman, increase in parasympathetic na lang agad-agad. Wala namang inhibition kadramahanggan. Bahala kayo, increase BP, increase firing, increase parasympathetic eh. Ang problema, decrease naman ang effect lahat. Bakit hindi na lang din increase na lang lahat, no? Papuri man din